Good morning, everybody. Good morning. It's JPR, and today Corocoro has leaked like it does every month, and of course, we have some new Pokemon from Pokemon Sun and Moon to talk about, as well as some new Alola forms and a few other details as well. And there is a flood alert. Well, how about that? So first up, we have the Sandcastle Pokemon. The first form is called Sunaba, and the big one is called Shirodasuna. We have a fish called Yowashi, and a pre-evolved form of Beware called Nuikoguma. Okay, you know what? Screw it. We're getting English names in a few days. Anyway, let's talk about the Sandcastles first. Anyway, they are both ground and ghost type Pokemon, and honestly, that seems really freaking fitting. Like, if it wasn't a ghost type, I would think this idea is a little bit dumb, but the fact that it is a ghost type, I actually really like that, because of course, like, it kind of opens up in the ground, like you see here with Pikachu, and like, it envelops things, you know, it kind of like sucks them into like a black hole in the ground. I'll be honest, I do not want to go digging on the beach anymore because of this thing. I mean, if you focus on the pre-evolved form, you can clearly see that there is a bottomless hole in this thing's mouth. If it swallows you, you're not coming back. And mostly everybody seems to think that these two are really stupid, but honestly, I love them. I think they are great. It's creative. I probably won't have them on my team, but I still think they're really good Pokemon. I think a Sandcastle was an idea that was a little overdue. Like, it is original as much as you don't like it. And basically how these things are made is that the big one, the evolved form, actually steals the life force of Pokemon when they fall into its hole, and so it uses that life force to create the Sunaba, which is the pre-evolved form. Sunaba's dex entry also says that grudges that form inside the sand turn into Pokemon. I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but it does sound pretty cool. Moving on to Yowashi, I really like this thing as well. It is a pure normal type. It's a little bit reminiscent of Dynamo, but I kind of like the fact that it is a water type, and you know, we don't really have like a generic water fish. I mean, we have a few, but I don't feel like we have as many as we should, considering how abundant fish are, you know? And unfortunately, this thing is probably not going to evolve because it does have an ability where it can change its form into like this big fish form, I guess like whenever it's in a pinch or something, but basically if you're in a pinch, I'm assuming, then like all of its little friends will form. It's basically like a school of fish, like from Finding Nemo, you know, like those guys. They all come together and they make this giant monstrosity, and honestly, I really don't know what to think about this in terms of like how good it will be. I love the design itself and like what it can do, but it's like, this thing on its own looks very weak and very frail, but if it becomes this monster below like half HP or whatever the requirement is, then it could have some use. So I don't know, maybe people will run like focus sashes on this guy all the time or what, because honestly, this guy's ability could go either way. It could be great, it could be absolutely horrible, so we'll just have to wait and see. And finally, moving on to Beware's pre-evolved form, basically, this thing is like every child's dream. Like, every child wants to go and hug this thing. But ironically, unlike Beware, this thing does not like to be touched at all. It is still a normal fighting type, and that is honestly kind of surprising. I thought it would just be a normal type and then become a fighting when he evolves into the giant hugger thing that can kill you, but it is still a fighting type, so I'm okay with that. Also, it has been confirmed that next month Rockruff's evolution will be revealed to us. Apparently, it is a secret evolution, and they have been teasing ever since Rockruff's reveal that Rockruff shared a secret along with the other starters, and so we really don't know what all that is about yet. Maybe it's a new evolution method, maybe it's something like totally unexpected that we don't know about, but either way, for whatever reason, there is something special about Rockruff that we don't know yet. And in fact, Corocoro is actually starting its own original comic series where we get to see like the journey of this kid who has a Rockruff and its secret evolution and stuff like that. So Rockruff is looking very, very important for some reason, so we better look out for that. Now, we also have two new Alolan forms to talk about. The first one is Meowth. Apparently, this Meowth is a dark type, and it became a dark type after years and years and years of wealthy families in Kalos breeding this thing for perfection. that's racist. And honestly, I'm a little bit intrigued as to how this will play a part in the anime, because if there is an Alolan Meowth that appears commonly in the Sun and Moon anime and like kind of builds a rivalry with Team Rocket's Meowth, I would really look forward to seeing that. So I think it's gonna be pretty fun to see how this goes. And next up, we have Alolan Marowak, and this thing is crazy. It is a ghost fire type. Apparently, it developed that way to help deal with the natural predators of the Alola region. I honestly have no idea what kind of things would be hunting a Marowak. I mean, you look at Marowak and you're like, hey, this guy is probably at the top of the food chain, and he has a giant bone in his hand to like fight people with, and now his bone has to have fire on it because apparently there was something that was trying to kill him or something. I don't know why, but hey, somebody wanted to eat Marowak, and he was like, you know what? We're gonna put fire on this bone and call it a day. But regardless, this thing looks amazing, and it is a little bit ironic because, of course, Marowak is finally a ghost type, and we had the whole Marowak ghost thing in Kanto, so, that's kind of sad. But a good reference nonetheless. And finally, the last bit of news here is that we know who the Alola region evil team will be, and that is Team Skull. And no, it is not the Team Skull from Mystery Dungeon, it is these guys. And honestly, I don't know how that name was picked out. Like, did they just think that people forgot about the old Team Skull? Because honestly, I just think, wow, that was kind of a bad decision, but hey, I'm sure it has some kind of meaning behind it. I mean, Team Plasma had kind of like a meaning behind their name, and Team Flare had a meaning in theirs, so maybe these guys have something creative behind it, but just looking at these guys, I'm not too impressed right off the bat. Honestly, it just looks like what happens when Team Aqua and Team Plasma's uniforms kind of get tied up in the dryer together, and as a result, you just have this hot mess. Anyway, the girl here, who I am assuming is an admin on the team, her name is Plumeri, and the boss is called Guzma. And honestly, I really didn't expect them to reveal the boss and admins this early. I mean, they did reveal the scientist for Team Flare, but they didn't reveal who the leader was until we actually played the game. And unfortunately, it was rather obvious. So yeah, I'm a little disappointed that we won't have a big surprise here. I mean, unless there's like a supreme leader who's over this Guzma guy, which honestly I think would be pretty cool if they kept that a secret. But as of right now, I'm just looking at these guys going, okay. That's just my thoughts of them. But anyway, we do have some more Pokemon Sun and Moon info coming out on the 12th, where we'll probably get the English names for all of these, along with a few new Pokemon or Alola forms, possibly. And like I said in my last video, I will be out of town in SmashCon, so if I make an instant update about that, don't expect too much out of it, because being away in a hotel with all your friends, it's kind of hard to make videos like this one. And like I said in my last video, if you're going to SmashCon, be sure to let me know. I am looking forward to meeting as many of you guys as possible. So what do you guys think about all of this new info? Drop a comment down below. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. If you like what you saw and you want to see more, then you can go ahead and hit that subscribe button up there. Or if you're not convinced yet, just click the middle of the screen for some more videos. Follow me on Twitter at JPRP28 for even more Pokemon content. And if you enjoyed, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. And I'll see you guys next time.